We're automatically going to pull a sales card for the month of April anyways, and this particular sales card is S11. I'm going to show you something really neat on our website that ties this. So if I click on sales and then click on S11, it brings up that sales card that I just pulled. The neat thing about this is it actually gives you tips and tricks for how to implement that sales card in the game, or things to consider, because some of the cards do require a little bit of thinking. So this particular sales card says, thanks to good training and a great employee, the company receives a perfect 5-star feedback rating socially, with which earns you 6 new reoccurring contracts each month for the next 3 months. That sounds like great news, right? More sales. So let's translate that into this month on the game sheet. How do we record that? Let me show you. So you're going to pull up your trusty calculator so that you can have that handy. And we're going to start with the income section up here at the top. So number of reoccurring contracts always comes from the previous month. So if you look down here, it says total number of reoccurring contracts. So I'm going to put 33 here because that's how many I had here last month. And this month I have 6 new, for a total of 39. So I now know what the next month is going to be. I could just put 39 there because I already know what it is. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pull the stable number, which is 300 per month. And that ironically is the same as what we used for January, February, and March for the sample months. But for most of you, it'll probably be different. So then from there, I'm just going to multiply 39 times 300. And I come up with 11,700 for our sales from reoccurring contracts. Sometimes you'll get cards that'll affect or cause one-time sales. We didn't have any of those this time. We didn't have any other revenue. So our total for non-reoccurring sales is 0. So our total income is this 11,700. So we're going to put that right there. So we're done with the income section. It was that easy, and we even started May by indicating how many reoccurring contracts we knew we were going to carry forward. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to expenses on this income sheet, this P&L. And so what you're going to do here is you want to pay close attention to this column right here, because this is your percentage of total income. And so what that means is you're going to take this 11,700, so let's put that in here, and you're going to figure out what, for example, let's start with 30%. So 0.3, 11,700 times 0.3 is 30%. So our labor is going to be 3510, which, by the way, if any of these come out with a decimal point, just round it up or down because we don't use decimal points in the game. So we're at 30% now. So if we divide that by 2, then we're at 15%, which you'll see is right here, our marketing and PR. So that's going to be 1755. And then we can divide it by 3, will give us 5%, which there's a 5 right here. So that's 585. Is there any other 5s on here? There's one right here, 585. And then there's one up here, 585. Okay, so you can start to see how this is getting filled in. These are all of your expenses. Okay, so from there we can divide by 5. That'll give us 1%. There are some 1% here, so we have 117 here, and then 117 here. And this one's interesting here because you have to notice this right here. It's minimum of 300 a month. So although it's 1%, it should be 117, but it's a minimum of 300, as insurance usually is. It doesn't matter how much money you make, you still have to pay the full boat on your insurance. And so make sure you watch for that and don't put 117 there, or whatever your 1% is. You have to do at least 300. So then we're going to times this by 2, and we're going to get 234. So that's our 2% number there is 234. Do we have any other 2s here? We have one up here, 234. And we have a 3%, so we're going to add our 117 to that. So we have 351 for 3%, and there's a 351 here. And then we're going to look at this one as our vehicle payment, which, remember, is documented here. It's $450. So we're going to put our $450 vehicle payment in there. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take these totals. So first of all, we're going to total these 3 right here together, and those are our transactional totals. If you look at this, these are our transactional expenses. And so the three of those together is 585 plus 3510 plus 234 is 4329. Okay, now we're going to look at our operational totals. These are operational totals right here. So that's this, all of these numbers right here. So 117 plus 585, 117 again, 234, 351, 1755, 585, 300, 450, and 351. Okay, so that is a total of 4845. And then I'm going to add that to the 4329, and that gives me my total expenses, which is 9174. So that last calculation was this 4845 plus the 4329. That's a total of all of the expenses here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract our income, which is 11,700. So I end up with a positive 2526. It shows negative on the calculator because of how I did the calculation, but it's obviously positive because our expenses were 9174 and our income was 11,700. So we made just over 2,500 for the month. So that is all you do on this particular sheet for the month of April.